After the OBC bill was passed in the Lok Sabha yesterday, the 127th Constitution Amendment Bill that seeks to restore the state's power to drop their own OBC list will be tabled in the Rajya Sabha today. And the floor leaders of the opposition will be coming together to discuss their strategy. And these are leaders from both the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. Ahead of the House proceedings, this meeting will be held in just a few minutes from now. On Tuesday, the debate on the OBC bill saw rare unity in the Lok Sabha, with both treasury benches and the opposition coming together in support of this bill. The Rajya Sabha, meanwhile, witnessed unruly scenes during a discussion on the farmers' issue. The upper house of the parliament today, however, is likely to see an orderly debate on the OBC bill. The opposition is expected to back the government on the same. This bill seeks to restore power of states to name backward classes, the power which was with the centre after the Constitution's 102nd Amendment back in 2018. Rahul Srivastava is joining us live from Delhi with more details on this. Rahul, all eyes will be on the Rajya Sabha today. Yesterday, complete scenes of, chaos, unruly behaviour by the opposition. Hopefully today, we're not going to see any of that, and we're going to see a constructive debate on the OBC bill.
Akshita, the parliament has produced two deep contrasts in this monsoon session. Yesterday, the debate on the OBC reservation issue, 127th constitutional amendment, 40 speakers, 386 versus 0 votes, means not one vote cast against the bill, and 40 speakers could speak. In contrast, the productivity in rest of the session, 14% odd in Lok Sabha, 24% odd in Rajya Sabha, average 19%, means something close to 81% time of parliament wasted. Now, this is a purely political element that opposition has buried the hatchet. The government has reached out. Both seem to be voting together on a legislation which they know opposing can hurt them politically. Say Samajwadi Party and BSP opposing bills and proceedings in the House over the last 16 days came together on this bill because OBC vote is crucial for them in UP, for RJD in Bihar, for DMK and others in Tamil Nadu. So nobody is protesting against a bill which can hurt them if they oppose it. On the other hand, even the government is enjoying this because despite the din in the House by opposition over Pegasus issue, they have been able to pass the bills. Now, one interesting element which one needs to note is that yesterday, Pratap Singh Bajwa of the Congress party climbed on the table of the reporting desk, which is the virtual sanctum sanctorum of a parliament, from the chair of the chairman. And till now, there is no inkling whether there will be some action initiated against him. Government will demand some action, primarily because it seems that the government may not like to incense or aggravate the situation with the opposition and try to ensure to pass the bill peacefully, which means a lot for the government, especially in UP.
All right, we'll be tracking what happens in Parliament. In some time from now, you're going to have the opposition come together and really brainstorm on how they're going to take issues forward, perhaps in the Lok Sabha, because in the Rajya Sabha, we're expecting a detailed, constructive debate on the OBC bill today. Rahul, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Rahul did mention what played out in the Rajya Sabha yesterday. It was absolute chaos and ruckus by the opposition. They were demanding the rollback of the farm laws and a discussion on the Pegasus Snoopgate scandal. So much so that an MP even climbed onto a table and was seen throwing files at the Rajya Sabha chair. Here's all that went down in the parliament yesterday.
Hooliganism, sloganeering, pandemonium, hurling the rule book at the chairperson, shouting from the top of a table. Don't look away, viewers. This is our temple of democracy. These are the politicians we have trusted our lives with. And the man on the table is Congress MP Pratap Singh Bajwa. Their demand? A discussion on Snoopgate and repeal of 3 farm laws.
ये सरकार अंधी हो चुकी है और मैं किसान भाइयों को इस बात की विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं, आप अपनी जंग बाहर जारी रखो, हम अपनी जंग सारी ऑपोजिशन पार्टीज और विशेष तौर इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस आपकी जंग पार्लियामेंट के फ्लोर पर लड़ेंगे.
The BJP is calling the ruckus an insult to democracy.
जैसे ही बहस प्रारंभ ये कोर्ता मांग करते हैं कि कृषि कानूनों पर चर्चा हो, और जब चर्चा होने लगी तो टेबल पर चढ़कर फाइल फेंकने लगे. ये बहुत ही दुखद है और बहुत ही अपमानजनक है, और ये केवल संसद का अपमान नहीं, इस देश की जनता का अपमान है.
It's been 21 days since the monsoon session of Parliament started. The opposition has accused the centre of blocking debates on farm laws and Pegasus hacking.
इसलिए हम लोगों ने विरोध किया कि चर्चा बार बार कराने का कोई मतलब नहीं है. चर्चा कराइए बिल की वापसी के ऊपर. ये तीनों काला कानून वापस कैसे होगा, चर्चा इस बात की होनी चाहिए.
The BJP claims they are ready to have a discussion but blames the opposition for the lack of debate.
जितना इनका बजट था उससे ज्यादा तो किसानों के खाते में मोदी जी की सरकार डाल चुकी है. ये किसान विरोधी हैं और पिछले 2 दशक में जितने भी आयोग बने सबकी रिकमेंडेशंस के आधार पर ये बिल बनाए गए हैं. कृषि सुधार
संसद सड़क पर बैठे हमारे किसानों की पीड़ा नहीं समझ रही है ना, यानी कि संसद की गरिमा का सत्ता प्रतिष्ठान को ख्याल नहीं है.
Now consider this. Each minute of running Parliament costs 2,50,000 rupees. Every wasted hour is 1,50 lakh rupees down the drain. While no one questions the opposition's right to ask questions, the methods employed by the opposition are certainly questionable. Bureau Report, India Today.
Moving on, with an eye on the 2022 elections, which are slated for several states, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is kickstarting preparations for those polls in 5 states. Prime Minister Modi's Namo app has launched a survey in the 5 poll-bound states. It seeks people's opinion on key issues that are likely to influence their choice in the upcoming polls. The survey is open to people from Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Goa, Manipur and Punjab. It seeks the voters' opinion on the most pressing issues, including rating the state government on several metrics like the handling of the COVID pandemic and also the vaccination drive. Besides that, interestingly, the poll also asks voters on their views on probable opposition unity in their constitution and their take on the local MLA. BJP has in fact said that the feedback from this poll, particularly non-BJP states, will help decide on the Prime Minister's campaign and the blueprint really of his campaign in these states. The Uddhav government in Maharashtra has instituted a new Rajiv Gandhi award for the IT sector. Remember that this move comes days after the centre had renamed India's top sporting award, the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna, after hockey legend Major Dhyan Chand. The decision was taken in a meeting that was chaired by Congress leader and Maharashtra Minister of State for Information Technology, Satej Patil. The minister said that the award will be a lasting tribute to late Rajiv Gandhi for his pioneering work in the tech sector in India. The award will be given on August 20th, which is the birth anniversary of the former Prime Minister. Mustafa Sheikh is joining us live with more details on this. Mustafa, how is this being perceived politically? You know, it's not really surprising that all the allies also are on board, because even after the decision to rename the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna, the Shiv Sena had opposed it.
Yes, of course, Akshita, this move for a lot of things is being seen as a political move, and Maharashtra government naming an IT Excellence Award in the name of Rajiv Gandhi is also a counter-political move, at least the experts are saying so. Though the Maharashtra government is denying this fact, they are saying that this was something which was in the pipeline for a long time but got recently approved by CM Uddhav Thackeray. But at the same point of time, it remains interesting as to how this move has just come after the Khel Ratna announcement event has taken place. What the opposition is saying in Maharashtra, the BJP, that these awards, these certificates should be named after experts in the particular field and not after politicians. But the Congress is saying that it is the BJP who has done this political move and removed Rajiv Gandhi's name from the Khel Ratna. And it's a political game in which the Maharashtra government, in which Congress's coalition is giving back an answer to the BJP. Back to you.
All right, Mustafa, thank you for all those details. Now, even as in Maharashtra, you're seeing now a new award being named after Rajiv Gandhi. In Karnataka, there is a political face-off that's raging over the renaming of the popular Indira canteens across the state. Congress has threatened the ruling BJP that if such a move is made, they will hit the streets in black and all the signboards with BJP leaders' names on it.
Days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi renamed the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Awards as Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna, a similar demand is being made in Karnataka. BJP State General Secretary C.T. Ravi has urged Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai to rename Indira canteens across the state as Annapurneshwari Canteen. He says the name Indira reminds people of the dark days of emergency. All-out political war has erupted in Karnataka over the BJP leader's demand. The Congress has threatened to blacken signboards of landmarks named after Sangh icons if the BJP renames Indira canteens.
Indira Gandhi ಅವರ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದು ಬೇರೆ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಇಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಇದರ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ನೆಟ್ಟಿಗಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಮುಖಂಡರ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಡಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೆಲವು ಫ್ಲೇವರ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ವಾಜಪೇಯಿ ಅವರ ಹೆಸರು ನಮ್ಮ BMTC ಬಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಗೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೀನ್ ದಯಾಳ್ ಉಪಾಧ್ಯಾಯ ಅವರ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಯಶವಂತಪುರ ಫ್ಲೈಓವರ್ಗೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರ ಹೆಸರೇನಾದರೂ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಫ್ಲೈಓವರ್ಗಳು ಮತ್ತು BMTC ಬಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆಯೋ ಆ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಸಿ ಬೆಳಿತೀವಿ.
The BJP meanwhile dared the Congress to act on their threats.
There are no rights to tell about the Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Here the government is BJP government, the powerful BJP government. Atal Bihari, there is a Modi is there, here is a Bommai is there. It is not possible. They have no guts to do that.
Indira canteens, started by Siddaramaiah during his chief ministership, offers affordable food to the poor. For Congress, renaming them is like stripping the party of its legacy. The fight over Indira canteens has only started. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's get you news from Tamil Nadu. Remember, yesterday, the state's Vigilance Department had raided former AIADMK Minister SP Velumani. Now, a case has been filed against AIADMK cadre who'd gathered outside the house of the former minister during the raids, created ruckus and also removed barricades that were put up by the police. A case has been filed against 500 workers, including Pollachi Jayaraman and 9 MLAs. Tamil Nadu's Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Department had raided the residence of the former AIADMK minister on Tuesday. This was at Coimbator's Kuniyamathur after registering an FIR against the minister as well as 16 others. Now, according to reports, Velumani was raided over irregularities in tenders that were awarded when he was the minister in the erstwhile EPS government. The FIR against the minister reveals that he had allotted tenders worth 800 crore rupees in which irregularities were found. SP Velumani was the municipality's minister. Here's a look at the latest data from the Health Ministry on how we're doing in the fight against COVID. A look at the top 5 states which have registered maximum cases. Kerala there continues to see a sharp surge in cases. 21,119 cases reported in the last 24 hours. A few days we've been seeing cases below 20,000. It's again gone above the 20,000 mark, even as restrictions have been eased. Then you have Maharashtra with 5,609 COVID cases. Tamil Nadu is the third worst affected state with 1,893 cases. Then Andhra Pradesh with 1,461 cases. And finally Karnataka with 1,300. 338 cases. You look at the map, it's very clear that it is South India that has the most cases right now. And even as we get you this data, look at the numbers in Kerala. Over 21,000 cases being reported, but the government has gone ahead and eased some of the restrictions. Kerala's tourism sector has suffered huge losses amid the COVID pandemic. The government has relaxed some of the restrictions in the state for the tourism sector also, which has proven to be a mild breather for those who are employed in this sector.
Kerala's famed houseboats are back on the move. Though COVID cases remain high, the state government has decided to reopen tourist destinations across Kerala, giving backwater tourism a new lease of life. But unlocking comes with many riders. Only those boats with vaccinated staff will be allowed to run. Tourists must either be vaccinated with at least one dose or possess a COVID-19 negative certificate that is not older than 72 hours.
Right now, the government and district administration has given guidelines. We are checking the COVID-19 certificates or RT-PCR tests from the guests, and after that only we are allowing them boarding pass.
So this is just like coming into a hotel room or any other place, maybe even your house. This is how you enter inside. I just stepped in through that area and I've come inside. So this is actually the sit out in a houseboat. So this is going to be more or less the norm in most of the houseboats. There may be some small changes depending upon the category that you're choosing, but still this is more or less the same thing that you would see.
There are COVID checks even in water. The police intercept most of the houseboats, check for boarding passes and ensure COVID-19 appropriate behavior. With the backwaters opening up, tourists are trickling in. Ankur and Ruchi have come from Thane in Maharashtra. They are on their long-delayed honeymoon trip. The couple got married in 2019 but never got the opportunity to travel as pandemic struck.
Actually, people were telling don't come to Kerala, it's all hotspot area. When I actually came here, what I saw was tourist area is almost clean. There is nothing to worry. Wear your mask, use sanitizer, enjoy the ride.
इतने टाइम से घर पे रह रहे हैं तो फिर वो मतलब बहुत हेक्टिक हो गया था घर पे कंटिन्यू एक ही जगह तो फिर इसीलिए हम लोग का अभी एक्चुअली 1.5 ईयर हो गया एंड ये हमारा लाइक एक इतने 1.5 ईयर के बाद एक ट्रिप हुआ है.
While reopening of tourism is good news for boat owners, they are not out of the woods yet. Owners have had to invest lakhs to renovate their boats, which remained idle for more than a year. Houseboats in a state of disrepair is a common sight here. Many are unable to bear the maintenance cost.
To revive this or to repair this is going to cost them lakhs and lakhs of rupees. As the tourism reopens, many people have managed to acquire funds and investments from multiple sources. Maybe they have borrowed to try and repair their vessels and get them back on water. But there are many more who do not have that particular luxury or who do not have the facility to go through that process.
Varun Kumar has been in this industry for nearly a decade. His boat started sinking in May. Rebuilding it will cost him lakhs. Varun says their problems began in 2018 when floods ravaged Kerala. The pandemic added to the pain.
अगर बिजनेस अभी 3 साल हो गया 2018 में इधर प्रलय पानी का प्रॉब्लम हो गया उसके बाद अभी 1.1 साल के ऊपर हो गया कोविड का प्रॉब्लम इसके कोविड का वजह से 2 महीने हम लोग को छोटा ऑर्डर मिला था नवंबर दिसंबर में लेकिन उसमें कुछ फायदा नहीं है.
During the first wave, the state government had provided a one-time grant for houseboats in Alappuzha. But owners of small boats, which are used by local tourists, were not covered.
After Corona, actually, no help has been given. No support has been given from the authority side, and we are in deep trouble now because it's a budget thing. It's a budget tour for the guest, actually.
Onam is around the corner. This is the season of boat races. If things were normal, Kerala would have been entering peak tourist season. Hotels in the region would have been full, but not this time.
Last 1.5 years, there is, Alappi means, this is a backwater tourism sector. There are even our own people, Keralites, they want to come out. There is a lot of restrictions.
After nearly 1 year of struggle, Kerala's tourism is all set to be on the path of revival. The backwaters of Alappuzha are gaining momentum as tourists start trickling in from both within and outside Kerala. With camera representing Kurat Shegaran, Gopikrishnan in Alappuzha for India Today.
And with that ground report, I'm slipping into a short break here on India's agenda. I'm leaving you with these pictures of the Indian hockey team, our hockey heroes offering prayers at the Golden Temple in Amritsar after scripting history at the Tokyo Olympics. They, of course, bagged that bronze medal and scripted history after over 40 years getting a medal. They offered prayers at the Golden Temple amid a huge rush of people.